Hello everyone, welcome to my little surprise video today with Lauren Scraplet. I just wanted to show you how to make this adorable little kind of harvest looking card today. So we're using a fun fold that I often kind of come back to all the time just because it's absolutely just the easiest thing that you'll ever attempt to do. So to make this card, you'll need to get a few materials. So to start, you need to have this Harvest Hello stamp set, and this is in our holiday catalog that just started on September 4th there. And if you notice, we have both an apple and kind of apple features as well as the pumpkin that come in this stamp set as well. And then you can buy that at that 10% discount with the Apple Builder Punch as well. Now it does make the pumpkin too, so don't let the name fool you. Then for your card itself, we will need a piece of Poppy Parade paper, and you're going to cut this at 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. And you can go ahead and score it at the 2-inch mark as well at the 6 1/4 inch mark. And that's going to be our card base. For the other parts of our card, we did need that inside piece here. So this is the Very Vanilla, and I've cut this at 4 inches by 4 inches. And you'll need the same in the Pretty Peacock. So a 4-inch by 4-inch. Hi, Shauna. And that is giving us the front of our card. And I did go ahead and I ran this through my Big Shot machine with our new pressed metal embossing folder, and this guy's absolutely gorgeous. You can choose whether you want the bumps to kind of be coming out this way at you, or if you almost just want, thanks, if you just want the little kind of lines sticking out there. So that is your two inside and outside layers. Hi Judy, again at the 4-inch by 4-inch. And then we do also want this piece of DSP at the top. So I used the Come Together set, and I cut this guy at 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches across. So you can choose, there's a whole set of patterns in that paper, and maybe you'd like something different, but this was just the set that I had laid out. So to start building your card, we're going to take that that Poppy Parade base that I mentioned. I've scored it again at 2 and then again at 6 1/4. And now I'm going to go ahead and fold that. Hi, Debbie. Make sure to use something nice and sharp. I have a nice nail that I kind of use as a blunt edge, but if you don't have one, grab your bone folder because you will want that, that line to be nice and crisp. Now, just a little hint with this part here. I like this to just fold over with ease. So you may have to, once you've cut this fully, go and just trim the tiniest little bit off of this end, because otherwise you've got this section and this middle section, they're the exact same length, and when we fold them in, they're fine, but when you try to put something over top, sometimes they can bump into one another. So I've done that already. I've trimmed just like an 1/8 of an inch off of my card here, and it just makes the rest of your process so much easier. So now what you're going to do is turn this card so it's just kind of lying horizontally towards you, and we're going to grab our 2 1/4 inch circle punch. So I have my small section to the right of me here, this 2-inch section. I'm going to take my circle punch and just feed it in so that it's resting kind of in not the middle of my card, but towards the one side of my card. I want this score line right in the middle of this circle, so I've almost got equal parts on both sides, and then you can go ahead and punch. Now, you are going to have to punch through a couple more layers, but I like to do this one first so I know what I'm doing. So my next layer that I'm going to add on is this Very Vanilla, and to add a little flavor to my card, I went ahead and I stamped these cute little apple seeds that are included in the set on the inside. So I did that already, and then we just grab our snail. You just need a bit around the edges here, and you can attach this guy. You want that to have a nice little border, and you'll notice that part of it is now hanging into your circle space. that's okay, because we're going to do 2 jobs at once. We're going to take our little DSP and put some adhesive on the back of that. Again, just remember with your snails, we always want that gate hanging at the bottom. Your fingers rest on this ridge, and that's how we'll get them to work. Okay? So add him to the top, and now you have 2 sections that are invading your circle. Take your punch again and line it up to the edge that you did before, and now you can punch again, and you'll have these 2 pieces to throw away. And now this section is perfectly circular for you. So we're going to go ahead and add that pretty peacock piece of paper onto the front here. Hello, Kayla. And, sorry, I like to use my double-sided tape anytime that I've embossed something. I find they hold a lot better than snail, just because all the ridges that I get when I'm embossing kind of make the snail a little challenging to stick. Okay, so here's my card so far. I've got that open flap, my inside layer. Now the fun begins because you need some apples. So I stamped my apples on the Granny Apple Green, as well as the pretty peacock that we used for the back, the poppy parade that we used here in the back. So if you are doing quite a few of these, a tip is to just cut yourself a 2-inch strip, because that's slightly bigger than the apple. And then when you're punching, you're not wasting paper cutting out leaves and stems in the wrong color. So I did this for my club this month, and it was just so simple for the ladies to feed in their apples and punch them out, and then they didn't end up wasting a bunch of extra paper doing that. Okay, so you end up with just your little apple. You'll do that in green as well, so you've got 2. What I did for the stems was I gave my red apple a little brown stem with the soft suede and a Granny Apple green leaf. And then with my green apple, I thought it was kind of fun to give him a different color leaf. So I used the pretty peacock, and then again with the soft suede. Now a little tip that I learned, sorry if you can see that, when you are doing this stem, let's say you've got the fat end to the top, that is what an apple looks like. Now, if you want a pumpkin, you're actually going to take that stem and turn it so the skinny side is at the top, and that would give you an authentic pumpkin stem. So, we're doing apple. We're going to flip that over. And the easiest way I found to attach these is double-sided tape on the back. Just take that off. Now you can easily put your little leaf kind of sticking up, and then put your stem sticking out the top as well. And whatever way you want to face that, I kind of like it facing away from the leaf. Okay, now to attach these, we're going to start with the green one, and you can switch them. Let's say you want the red up here, that's fine. On my card, you see it fits perfectly in this space. So what I did here is I've put dimensionals only on the bottom of my apple, because I don't want any in this space up here. I just want it to stick in this little half circle. So I've put 2 dimensionals on the bottom, and then you line up your apple so that it just barely grazes the edge. You want it as close to that circle edge as possible, because you're going to be lifting the other half of the circle over it. Sometimes your leaf will catch, and that's okay. It's still cute. Now, what I did with this other apple was I used it as a card stopper. So again, just like my green apple, I'm only putting dimensionals on the very bottom because I don't want the card to stay closed all the time. I want this to just stop the flap from opening and for me to be able to open and close it as I want. So 2 dimensionals on the very bottom. And if you want, you can kind of just move this apple down so that you kind of just barely cover this flap. You don't need it centered or anything. You just want it settled into space where you can kind of gently lift and move this flap as you need to open the card. And then on the bottom, I thought it was just kind of fun. I used our new ornate frame dies. And if anyone hasn't seen these, they're absolutely gorgeous. Look at all the detail in some of those pieces. These ones are all stitched. So this one here, that one there. These ones have the little kind of scroll look. And then these ones have just kind of fun edges and whatnot too. So this, if you haven't seen them, they're hiding in the Monster Bash suite. So if you're not a Halloween person and maybe just skipped over, go back and look. And there's also a really cool embossing folder that has this scroll look as well. So those are the ornate frame dies. And I used that just with one of the stamps from our set here. So I used the You Make Me Smile. You could make a teacher's card, Thanksgiving, Halloween, whatever. But all I did was I just stamped that in the pretty peacock, and I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals, put it in the bottom corner here. There we go. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this card, and you can see how absolutely easy it is to make. So I hope that you guys are going to do that yourselves and maybe come up with some other ideas of how to make cards as well. So I will talk to you guys later. I have another card to show you if I can get it organized. But I'll sign off for now, and I hope you had fun watching. Bye!